first place I wanted to start, y'all, I wanted to start out in LA for a couple of things. And I wanted to do this off the top because and John Brown Brigade, I need y'all to get activated, okay? So a friend of the show, our homie, Ricci Sergienko. Ricci Sergienko is once again being targeted by Los Angeles Sheriff Alex Villanueva, who is naming Richie publicly and basically it seems at minimum trying to incite harassment against him. I would assume at maximum incite some violence, some violencia. Let me get to my computer here because I have to turn all the way the fuck around to look at shit. This is a madness. It's a madness. But the reason I said I want the John Brown Brigade to get activated because I am bringing you the news in case you have not seen it. Shout out to Northern Witch DD. I saw DD jumping in Villanueva's shit on Twitter. I said, "Go D." That's what the fuck you supposed to do. That's what I'm talking about. So, head, and this is what I call it, the head of Los Angeles's biggest gang targets our comrade. And Google LASD gangs if you have not previously already. And big up to Cerise Castle and the good folks at knock.la for, again, the Pulitzer worthy investigative series that Cerise did, that she did not win the Pulitzer because clearly the Pulitzer, these motherfuckers don't know quality journalism when they fucking see it or read it for that matter. So anyway, pop up the thing for me there. Pop up a picture, Will. I don't know what the fuck's going on. Whatever I have up there, an image. An image. So this was posted from Los Angeles Sheriff's Department. The Twitter account for Alex Villanueva's re-election campaign. Do we have the image up? So people can stop looking at the back of my head. All right, what do we have here? So Villanueva has been, this is not the first time that Alex Villanueva has targeted Ricci Sergienko. By and large, I would call Richie a private citizen, but Richie turns up in public places ready to bring the motherfucking ruckus, and I'm always with it. I've been following Richie for about the last almost 3 years now, and I've seen Richie be nothing but fucking consistent with his shit. I have not seen or heard Richie being problematic. I have not seen Richie going off brand or going off script. Yeah, keep that up. Keep that up. I'm sorry because I'm trying to read it at the same time, and I'm just yammering. So anyway, yes. So Richie again shows up to give the police all the shit. He shows up at the city council to give the city council people all the shit. Richie shows up to stop the sweeps of unhoused encampments in Los Angeles. He shows up to advocate on behalf of women's rights and to let everybody know that yes, Black lives do matter. I mean, Richie shows the fuck up, right? And because Richie shows the fuck up and gives Villanueva the fucking blues, Villanueva is targeting our boy Richie once again. So what? Okay, so the image I guess I'm trying to figure out here, and you guys pardon me because I am, like I said, I'm very discombobulated. I did not really have time to center myself before we went here on the air. But what you're seeing here is fucking Villanueva again running ads targeting Ricci Sergienko. And Richie apparently tweeted from the People's City Council website about Villanueva's campaign having a phone banking event. And Richie encouraged the People's City Council followers, hey, show up. Just show up at Villanueva's phone banking campaign. Wahoova's the woots it. And Villanueva in turn quote tweeted Richie, well, quote tweeted the People's City Council and named Richie specifically. And this is not, again, not the first time that he's done this. He had a paid Facebook ad running back in March, also naming Richie specifically and saying things, details about him. Richie's from Massachusetts or whatever. And it's like, Villanueva must be really furious with Richie, which tells me that Richie is doing amazing work. Amazing work. And the reason I want the John Brown Brigade to get activated is because, Richie's our people. We fuck with Richie. We appreciate and love comrades. But this is the time I need white folks to be standing up for white folks. This is an awesome time. Perfect time. Perfect time. Now I know. Oh, that's the other thing. Villanueva is actually accusing Richie of being racist because and claiming that the People City Council is a racist extremist organization, which, coming from Alex Villanueva, that has to be hilarious. And I know Villanueva is very much trying to shield himself with identity politics that no, I'm a Latino and he's a white man and he's attacking me. Well, sir, you as a Latino are doing a way better job of upholding white supremacy than this particular white man ever could. like you were, Sheriff Alex Villanueva is doing the work of 500 white men. Sir, the fuck is you mean? Richie's racist. People City Council is a racist extremist organization. Nope, not at all. I see People City Council out in Los Angeles literally doing God's work, doing Jehovah's work, doing doing everybody's work out there. I won't say everybody, but they doing a lot of work out there, and they're showing up at all the right places, getting in all the right people's shit, and making the proper demands, and being the kind of ally and comrade that we want. I want white folks to be. I would love if we had 50,000 Ricci Sergenkos, dog. We would be John Brown Brigade for real, or well, y'all would be John Brown Brigade, and we would be, aligned in our forces side by side. But so if we have our white listeners, our white viewers, our white supporters, our white Brown Brigade, got to show up for Richie. Got to show up for Richie right now. I'm letting y'all know about it, and just by me making the word and putting it out there, we want to send love and solidarity, in allyship and comradeship, most importantly, to Richie and the People City Council. But white folks, this is where you get activated, right here. So right here. You got to stand up for your boy. And he's our boy too. But, y'all got to stand up and go hard for Richie. And don't let anybody paint him with no racist brush. I have not found, I haven't seen it. I have not seen I have not taken issue with anything that Richie has done. I have been for it. Richie gets in all them people's shit, and I fucking love it. He told Karen Bass to stop acting like a Karen. Who can disagree with that? he's told Villanueva numerous times to show his tattoos. Villanueva won't do it. You know why? Because he's a gang member. So Richie's out here doing the righteous people's work. We need to support Ricci Sergienko, and I implore the John Brown Brigade to follow the People's City Council. And again, we all stand in solidarity and comradeship with Richie, but white folks, get on this, get on that. Speaking of Villanueva, this guy is a real piece of shit, and we know this. So, on top of targeting Richie, we have also seen Villanueva in the past target journalist Cerise Castle, a Black woman who is also amazing. Cerise is incredible with her pen, and she does not back down. She's so badass and fearless. I really, really appreciate that from Cerise. But so Villanueva does not run the best ship. You can assume that with the Los Angeles Sheriff's Department, which has number one, it's the largest sheriff's department in the country. It has an annual budget in the billions. I think just over $3 billion is how much money the Los Angeles Sheriff's Department operates with. They have known gangs, documented gangs, at least a dozen, right? No, maybe not a dozen. Maybe like 7 to 12. Let's give that a nice number. Even still, let's say it's on the low end. Let's say it's 7 gangs within the department, within law enforcement period, is far too much for this taxpayer subsidized literal operating gang, right? Like, sometimes I don't have a problem with gangs. I have a problem paying federal taxes and high state California taxes to the gangs, right? Like that is where we draw the line on, certainly on the gang activity. And the Los Angeles Sheriff's Department is absolutely a gang. So let's pop up the article, because there are people out here that are trying to blow the whistle. And we have been in this interesting, this has been an interesting week on Burn It Down with Kim Brown for police whistleblowers because they are not having a good week. They are not having a good week. We talked about the North Carolina sheriff deputy on Tuesday who had been recorded by one of his subordinates making a racist rant about them black motherfuckers on his police squad down there in Columbus County, North Carolina. And let's go out to Los Angeles, like I said here, because there's another whistleblower lawsuit being filed against the Los Angeles Sheriff's Department with some explosive allegations, further allegations being levied against Sheriff Alex Villanueva. So the headline reads, LASD commander files whistleblower lawsuit against the department and against the county. Now, I don't really feel so sorry for whistleblowers. Let me just say that at the onset. Like, dog, you knew what the fuck you was getting into. Okay. At the end of the day, you knew what the fuck you was signing up for. You knew. So this is reported by CBSnews.com. Alan Castellano, who is a commander with the Los Angeles County Sheriff's Department, has filed a lawsuit against the department and the county for retaliation against a whistleblower. Quote, LASD has held itself out as above the law and immune to accountability, with leadership operating with the lack of transparency and audacity of a third world dictatorship and evading any oversight, said Castellano's attorney stated in the lawsuit. First of all, fuck you, dog. What the fuck you mean operating with the impunity of a third world dictatorship? Dog, this is how the fuck America operates, okay? Like, how is it you think so many people got hung, lynched, killed over the past 200 some years and with very little accountability? People still getting gunned down present day by police, including a 15-year-old girl out there in San Bernardino. We're going to get to that in a moment. And yet there is yet to be accountability. So please miss me with your third world dictatorship fucking stupid rhetoric. Pisses me the fuck off. Sorry. The lawyer also goes on to say, while past sheriffs have retaliated against whistleblowers, Villanueva has taken vindictiveness, revenge, and retaliation to a whole nother level. And Villanueva's misconduct has led to approximately 24 ongoing whistleblower lawsuits against the county. So in this lawsuit, Castellano's attorney claimed that the department, quote, has long been plagued by a history of corruption and whistleblower retaliation, and specifically singled out instances during Sheriff Alex Villanueva's tenure. Villanueva brought the thirst for revenge into office and began plotting retaliation against whistleblowers and those reporting allegations of his misconduct. I'm very disappointed in the way this CBS piece is read because it's very repetitive, very redundant. A lot of redundancy in here. Against allegations of his misconduct before he even officially became sheriff. In December of 2018, the attorneys wrote, Castellano claims that Villanueva out for when he began his tenure as sheriff. Castellano claims that he has not received a promotion as a result of trying to hold the sheriff accountable and blowing the whistle on Villanueva. Can we get to the ambos? In addition, Villanueva pressured Castellano to volunteer to self-demote 2 ranks down to lieutenant to supposedly go get additional custody watch commander experience, the attorneys wrote. Castellano did not take Villanueva up on his generous offer. The lawsuit is related to alleged excessive use of force incidents that happened inside the San Fernando courthouse back in March of 2021. Earlier this year, a video was released by the Los Angeles Times showing Deputy Douglas Johnson allegedly kneeling on an inmate's head. Top Los Angeles Sheriff's deputy officials allegedly showed the video to Villanueva before the Times published it. According to the lawsuit, the inmate, whose name was Enzo Escalante, had long stopped resisting the deputy when Johnson began to place his knee on Escalante. A sergeant investigating the matter determined that Johnson applied pressure to Escalante's head for an unreasonable amount of time, and a lieutenant called the restraint tactic unnecessary as Escalante no longer offered any resistance. The lawsuit compared the deputy's action to George Floyd's death in 2020. Floyd was killed after Minneapolis police officer Derek Chauvin placed his knee on the back of the 46-year-old's neck. So, according to the lawsuit, Castellano was informed about the incident and tried to handle the matter promptly and properly. However, Sheriff Villanueva obstructed justice, covered the Escalante incident up, and retaliated against Castellano and others for blowing the whistle on the illegal conduct, the attorneys wrote. The sheriff often then used his usual political tactic of trying to frame the whistleblowers for his own misconduct and has repeatedly defamed Castellano and continues to shamelessly do so up to the filing of this complaint. So that's another thing that Villanueva has got going against him in the short term. So in addition to targeting private citizens, Villanueva will also target members of his own force if they piss him off. He told the Bama to self-demote. I wish. Motherfucker would. Can you imagine? Can you imagine? Can you go demote yourself? Can you take your pay grade down two stripes? The audacity. So let's hope Alex Villanueva loses his fucking election. It is also very shameful, circling back to his targeting and attacking of Ricci Sergienko. He is using his campaign dollars to buy social media ads, or whomever is operating his campaign social media account, I would assume, is getting paid. So there is literal campaign dollars being used by a sitting sheriff to target a private citizen. We live in hell. We live in hell. For everyone who is watching us from abroad, America, yes, it's hell. It's the hell that you've heard about. It is definitely here. Don't worry about the fascism in Italy, because I'm telling you, America has got a way big head start on the fascism. I know the Italian fascism has come back into vogue, but regardless. So anyway,